Okay, so today we're going to be looking at using ActiveCampaign scoring and actually integrating it outside of ActiveCampaign to another CRM. Now, for this particular client, they didn't really like the ActiveCampaign CRM, and it does have some limitations. It's not the best for fairly large teams, and there's a lot of limitations with it in terms of their API. A lot of my clients prefer to use PipeDrive for their CRM and then ActiveCampaign just for the email marketing, which is what ActiveCampaign does fantastically well. Their CRM is kind of like it's an okay addition, but it's not the main feature of their software. So, but one of the main important things in ActiveCampaign, particularly with emails, is that we can score our leads. We can score every single contact in our list based on how they're interacting and how often they're interacting with our business. So what we've got here is we've got a couple of different scoring automations, and these will run each and every time that one of these actions happens for a contact. So every time a contact opens an email, they're going to run this automation. They're all very simple automations. It's just a simple trigger and then applying a score and then ending the automation. So here's the different triggers that we've got. Now we're triggering on any email, any list, runs multiple times, and then we add 10 points to the engagement. And this is an expiring score. And that's important because an engagement score or something where you basically want to have a checking of the pulse of your entire list to see who's the most active. You want to make sure that it's expiring. If it's something like a lifetime value score or something like that where it's over all time, then you wouldn't use an expiring score. But most of the time, I do tend to use expiring scores. So every time one of these actions happens, we'll add 10 points, and then this is basically removing the tag so that this particular trigger can rerun a second time. Now, we've got this trigger in here because we're using MailShake as well as ActiveCampaign. And MailShake is essentially a cold outreach email marketing system. And so we've separated our cold email list from our warm email list. So ActiveCampaign is our warm email marketer. MailShake's our cold email marketer. And once the users get to a certain score from our MailShake campaigns, then they move across into ActiveCampaign and they auto-subscribe to our list and go across into nurturing campaigns, etc. And that works really well because it keeps your ActiveCampaign list clean. It stops you from being blacklisted by ActiveCampaign because the people that are coming into ActiveCampaign have, to a certain degree, opted in. They've opened 5 or 6 emails, they've clicked on the link, they're engaged enough that they're going to be comfortable getting emails from you, and that's all ActiveCampaign really cares about. So that works really well for this. And then on MailShake's side, the MailShake system can handle high spam, high bounce rates, poor deliverability without really affecting your account in MailShake. So that's why we separate both of those out. Okay, so that is a little bit about how the scores happen. And of course, we've got the website scoring that happens here. If they go to your site, visit 10 pages in 5 minutes, they're going to get 50 points. 100 points, 10 points per page. So, but how do we translate all this into actionable things that need to happen? Well, what we do in this client's case is because they're using the PipeDrive CRM, we want to assign a task to them. And we also want to send them a notification email when a user gets to a certain score. And so in this case, we've set it to 200 points. That's kind of an arbitrary value. You could set it lower or higher based on how many leads you've got in the funnel, based on how many different ways you're scoring them and how much you're scoring them. But 200 generally seems to be about right if most of your scoring events are about 10 points each. So that means they have to do sort of 20 events and then they'll get passed to you. And that's 20 events within 3 months for this particular scoring expiry. So here we've got 2 different webhooks. One webhook here sends across to Integromat, and in that it creates a deal if there's no deal existing, and the contact and the organization if that doesn't exist. And then here we're assigning the task to the sales team in PipeDrive. And we're also sending them a notification email just as a follow-up. Now we've got this wait at the end here. And that's really important in the logic of this automation. And so is this wait here of 15 minutes. So first up, this 15-minute wait, it gives the API time to create everything and complete its run. and then also gives the PipeDrive API time to cool down before it gets another API call. And that's important because if you're hitting up a certain API constantly, 100 times in a minute, you're going to get timeout errors, 502, 503 errors, 501s, all those sort of things, and you're going to get these missed runs in your scenarios. So it's important that if you are doing a double up of API calls to the same system, that you do have a bit of a delay, bit of a sleep. It's coding language, a sleep in the program, not yourself, between those different API calls. So we've got this task one. Now we'll have a look at that in Integromat and see how that works. But before we do that, this wait step here, it's really important for the logic of this automation, because if we didn't have this wait step, you would get a task assigned to you every single time that ActiveCampaign checks this the score, checks the trigger for this automation. So it depends on their server load, depends on a few other things, but 200 points, if they're above 200 points, they're not in this automation, technically they could enter this automation again. So it could be once every 15 minutes, once every half an hour, and it would just overload you very quickly with tasks that you honestly don't really need. So that's why we've got this wait 5 days task. And what that means is that the task gets assigned, you get a notification email, and then it will sleep for 5 days. You're not going to get another task or a notification for those contacts for 5 days. And then at 5 days, if they're still over 200 points, then they'll re-enter this automation and you'll get another task, another notification email. And for this client, that works really well because we're trying to get these customers onto a demo, trying to get them booked on a free demo, trying to convert them into a SaaS product. So that happens every 5 days. And it's a very simple automation in Integromat. The webhook comes in from ActiveCampaign, so it's an instant trigger, and we're getting the deal because we know the deal already exists from this webhook here. And then we're simply just adding a task. Now, if a deal can't be found because we've deleted it, that's pretty much the only reason why it can't be found, or maybe the deal ID is incorrect, whatever, then we just got this ignore rule here so that we don't get errors in this scenario all the time. We can't find the deal, too bad, so sad. We'll just error it here, and then the next time that they come in, they'll be checked again here for that deal. Now, adding the task via the module here is actually pretty simple. We've got some personalization here, follow up, and then the name, adding in the date and time. And Integromat's really great with how they have how you can sort of build in this logic within the module, whereas Zapier, they separate it out into different steps, and you end up having these 20-step long scenarios. With Integromat, you can just plug it all into one module. Makes it really, really easy once you understand it. So we've got all that sort of logic, writing a note there, etc. And that will notify the sales guy when he gets that in PipeDrive. So that is how to integrate the ActiveCampaign scoring to another CRM. And in this case, it's how to integrate it with PipeDrive on a very basic top level. If you've got any other questions, if you want to integrate another CRM to ActiveCampaign, or figure out how to talk, get two different apps to talk together and sync up data, I'd love to speak with you. Book in for a free call, and I'll talk to you soon.
Hi, I'm Mitch Bayless, and if you're looking for someone to help you with your business automation, then click the button below to schedule your free call today. And if you found this video useful, remember to click like. And also subscribe to our channel for more videos.